So I was born and raised in rural upstate New York to a family that practiced no religion. My mother and father had no religion, secular family, whatever. Like, so from birth, like we were never Christians. But you know, as a hillbilly in America, I was surrounded by Christianity. I've been exposed to more species of Christianity at this point in my life than most Christians have, and all that. And I never was interested in church or going to church or being a Christian. And to everyone's credit, like no one ever tried to convert me or like get me to go to their church. None of my friends or anybody at school ever tried to get me to go to their church or whatever. But I never personally, it never even crossed my mind that I would want to go. And as a 40-year-old man, looking back at it, I was thinking about it the other day, and I realized like the one thing that would have made me interested, like I absolutely know what would have made me interested as a young person to maybe check out a church, is American Christians, at least all the Christianity that I've ever been exposed to, right? They believe in Jesus the way you believe in like the Tooth Fairy or Santa Claus, right? When they use the word believe, they just mean get yourself, convince yourself, do whatever you got to do to trick yourself into thinking that like this is a book of facts and not a book of morality tales or fan fictions, mythologies, whatever. But they say like that's it. That's the entirety of the religion. Believe this the way you believe in the Santa Claus at Tooth Fairy. If I had met like just one Christian who out loud, like with their voice, with their action, with their behavior, you know, with their choices, demonstrated that they believed in Jesus the way that you believe in a friend, the way that you believe in like the home team, right? That's all it would have taken. I would have been very interested, right? If I had met like one Christian who believed in Jesus the way that I believed in Mike Piazza and the 2001 lineup of the New York Mets, I would have been interested in church. Because if all Christianity is to you is a series of truth statements, and all a Christian is somebody who accepts all of these statements as true, and just accept the Bible as a book of facts and that's it, then Christianity isn't a religion, it's a mythology. It's a set of mythologies, right? If it doesn't have any ramifications toward how you behave or carry yourself in the world, then it's not your religion. It's just a mythological story that you believe. I got two quick exceptions. Was number one, black Christians. Right, I didn't move to a city until I was 18. That was the first time that I had long-term like relationships and friendships with black folks. The first time that I was really exposed to, okay, like black folks understand Jesus, believe in Jesus in that way that you believe in friends. And a lot of it has to do though with the fact that for black Christianity, Jesus is coded as a symbol of liberation, and for white Christianity, he's coded as an excuse to do oppression. Right, and then I got one other exception to that rule, which is the Unitarian Universalists. I'm a hillbilly, but I'm a northeastern hillbilly, and we have Unitarian Universalist churches, even in little itty bitty towns. And Unitarians believe in Jesus in a way that like no other white Christians believe in Jesus. But I just never got caught up in the Unitarian Universalist church when I was a kid. But if I had been more exposed to it, that would have been my in. Yeah, every once in a while you do meet like a person who is Christian, as in like they have taken to heart like the teachings of Jesus, right? That does come up very occasionally. It's hard for me to always remember that, especially when I am in a crazy doom and gloom spiral. Like it's like, fuck them all, like they're all crazy. And I know it's like, not all Christians, not all men, not all white people, whatever. Like, yeah, there's always exceptions to the rule. I actually came across kind of a cool way of thinking about religious belief for atheists or secular people, a way of framing religious beliefs recently. And I forget the name. I'll try to put it in the comment section in here, but I forget the name of the guy who wrote the book. But this dude who was a philosophy professor, whose dad was a preacher, and the philosophy professor's son was an atheist, and he wrote a book that just came out called Religion is Make-Believe. And I heard a podcast where he was making a pitch for somebody to go read the book. So I haven't read the book, but like his pitch was for asking atheists to think of religious belief as not factual belief, not like delusion, but something else entirely. that he was calling make believe, but I think it would, like, the phrase I would have used more comfortably was as like a cosplay belief. The way he phrased it was like Christians are living in like the state of superimposition, where they know in like their intellectual kind of chunk of their mind that this is a book of mythology, but they're kind of going through life cosplaying on the surface level as if they think it's real, as a way of imposing an imagination system framework on top of their physical reality. So the example he gave in the podcast was like, if a Christian person saw like their kid fall in a swimming pool, they never say, oh, well, I'll just let him drown because he'll just end up in heaven, right? They'll jump in the pool and pull him out. But if the kid fell in the swimming pool when there was no one there to see it and the kid drowned, they'd say, well, at least I know now that he's in heaven. And for me, it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? What a gibberish idea. But this guy was pitching it as like, there are two different categories of belief. Like there's one that's like a cosplay belief, like the concept of heaven is like a make-believe that people are like opting into, basically. So it's not like they don't believe it, but it's also not like they do believe it literally. But yeah, it's just really hard being somebody who, like, I physically do not have the neurology at this point to understand supernaturalist religion, right? So like, but I'm stuck in a country full of people who do. And there's always like a tension and a frustration in trying to navigate it. I'm a member of the Satanic Temple, right? A non-theistic religion, a non-supernaturalist religion, a religion that's about behavior and life stance and not about like these abstract mythologies, right? That I can understand, but yeah.